Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Spumelele Zondi with your social media and technology news. You can be a part of this tech conversation by using the hashtag SABC Network. You can also use the handle SABC Network, that is on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. It's newsnetwork@sabc.co.za and email. Here's what's coming up in the program. We have info on a gamified learning program targeting educators from across Africa. We went to the MTN IoT conference and awards. Our conversation is about a program that wants to upskill journalists. JamLab Director Indra Delenarol is in the studio for that. Hello and thank you for joining us, Indra.
Nice to be here.
How crucial are these skills for journalists?
Well, it's a new media world, isn't it? That's what you cover, and journalists need new skills, new ideas to deal with it.
All right, that's coming up later in the program. Stay with us. Many schools in Africa have been looking for ways to make learning more effective. They do this by incorporating technology innovations like tablets and smart boards. Gaming is becoming a part of that too.
Microsoft SA hosted the Africa Educator Exchange Forum this past week, which saw educators from different parts of the continent in attendance. They were given seminars on how to teach using computer games in order to equip learners with problem-solving skills.
We've been hosting the Microsoft Educator Exchange for South Africa, and we've actually got two groups of teachers that are here. The first group is our Microsoft Innovative Educator Experts, and these are a group of teachers that are part of a forum that we've created for teachers to really share their ideas and how they're using technology in the classroom. So we've got about 130 Microsoft Innovative Educator Experts that participate in this program, and this group that have come to this event are our top participators. So this has really been a sort of an acknowledgement and a reward for the great work that they've been doing through the year.
Educators from Quintile 2, as well as private schools in South Africa, came to attend the workshop. They said that they have learnt a lot through the Minecraft educational game. They believe that gamifying curriculums will make learning more fun.
This was just one of the things I was waiting for. Using the problem-based learning, game-based learning to let the learners get something from within to work on. So we don't have to underestimate the kids. For example, I'm using indigenous knowledge to incorporate technology.
I believe that when you have fun and you're immersed in what you're learning, you learn so much more and you enjoy what you do so much more. And what we, for instance, doing at our school, we introduced coding in grade 9. Well, the first reason is because I'm an IT teacher, I want to win them over for my subject. But the second reason is I believe everyone should actually have a basic knowledge of coding.
Aline Munyaburanga was brought to South Africa to attend this forum by the Ministry of Education in Rwanda. The country has partnered with Microsoft SA with the aim to learn and implement exciting teaching skills through Microsoft's tools.
What is so interesting about the applications that Microsoft is giving is that kids are playing games without knowing that at the same time they are learning. They are learning to solve problems. They are learning to think critically, to think in a way of solving problems. So the advantage of using these tools is that we've been always struggling with students on how to keep them in class, how to have them love mathematics, for example. And here we are seeing with Minecraft how you can build a building and yet you are using principles in mathematics.
The seminar started on Monday, 29th of May and ended the very next day.
That's a really good point. Innovative players in the IoT space have been recognized in Johannesburg. MTN held their Internet of Things conference and awards. Winners came from different areas of the business space. A lot is happening in the African IoT space, and MTN says their worry is that no one is shouting about it. So they decided to host the IoT conference and awards.
A lot of the solutions that I was seeing internationally weren't exactly a fit for purpose from an Africa context. So I wanted to start a developer ecosystem locally for guys to start solving our own unique African problems. And this all culminates very nicely into an awards event and again a conference.
And MTN has decided to form partnerships in the work that they're doing in this space.
The market is big enough for everybody to get their share into the market. So that's why we think it's very important for Huawei to build profitable partnerships with all those players all around this continent. Then we can just satisfy different kinds of requirements from the customers.
At a time when machines help us improve our lives, the Internet of Things affects a lot of what we do, from the connected home to how offices function and even how municipalities do their work.
With a smarter municipality, so let's take traffic lights for instance. Joburg especially, lots of traffic. So if you could preemptively alert the operations center that traffic lights are down, you can do this via a range of sensors. Let's take energy for instance. So I operate in the smart metering sector, smart grids, the collection of energy revenue. We do this through a range of smart meters. So beyond that, beyond energy, we have other utility features like gas, water, and of course electricity. And the IoT sector makes it more efficient, makes the grid smarter, so there's less wastage.
It doesn't end there, as one of the winners at the MTN IoT Awards told us.
My system is based around fixing problems of inefficiency and the lack of sustainability in agriculture. So we're looking at vertical farming, indoor farming, aeroponics farming, and making that easier and more and lowering the barrier of entry to local farmers.
Africa has internet connectivity challenges, but Africa is also the first mobile-first continent. Many here access the internet on their phones. Those in the IoT space who are celebrated at this event in Johannesburg say that's what they're taking into consideration as they develop their products. Security technologies were on show at Securex recently. It is an annual security technology expo.
From smart identity technology to high-quality CCTV cameras and monitors, South Africa's security industry players went all out to impress at this year's SecureX Expo, a security and fire prevention show where Robocop mock figures such as this one were exhibited. It was used to demonstrate an artificial intelligence authentication technology called AIDX.
In the US, body cams are very popular, but it's there simply to record an event. What the technology, because it's an optometric technology, uses a camera, but in a special way, it's an optometric technology, is then able to do is not only record the event, and that's what you saw in his helmet, but also recognize or identify the individual. So it not just says, this is Joe. Okay, whatever he tells you, don't trust that. He is Joe. And Joe, by the way, has 5 warrants of arrest out for him, and he's a dangerous individual. Be on your guard. And if Joe becomes a little bit threatening, and this is where the deep learning methods come in, then the technology is able to alert him and say, but hang on a moment, this is now becoming a dangerous situation. You need to be aware of what is happening in front of you until his life is in danger, and the technology says, now we believe you should be able to fire. So it takes that subjectivity out of it. You know, not just a policeman, maybe with no experience or under the stress of a threatening situation, making that call, but an objective assessment.
Visitors of the event said that they learned a lot from the security solutions exhibited at the event.
I come from a place where there's a lot of farms, so we're looking at security solutions for farmers. So we're thinking going aerial, like using your drones and stuff like that would be the best options.
I came to see what new types of technologies and things are out there, and what things we can use in our company.
The new technology in the cameras, the beams, outdoor security, yeah, it's exciting. It's nice.
SecureX 2017 opened its doors at the Midrand's Gallagher Estate on the 22nd of May and ended on the 24th.
The highly anticipated Nokia 3310 hits the shelves and Chinese banks launch QR code payment services. These are some of the stories that made tech headlines in the last week.
Nokia 3310 hits the shelves again. The original Nokia 3310, a basic talk and text phone, was the world's most popular device in 2000 and the first handset owned by many of today's smartphone users.
This is how the famous 3310 looks like. It's pretty smaller than the usual 3310 that we are used to, but this is more beautiful, I would say. Pretty handy to use. This time it comes with a very beautiful camera at the side, and then very nice color, very unique.
In many cases, the cost of both handset and data is the main factor constraining smartphone sales. But Africans also like the legendary durability of the brick and its week-long battery life, important considerations in countries where insurance and electricity cannot be taken for granted.
Nokia has always been the fastest selling devices in Nigeria in the time past, and then people were attracted to Nokia especially because of its battery life. The famous thing about Nokia has been the battery life, and the design is so strong. When it falls on the ground and then the battery, everything falls off, people just put it all together and then your phone is back in shape.
The makers of its revamped cousin hope that its 22 hours of talk time and up to 1 month of standby time will heighten its appeal for customers looking for a break from smartphone overload or reliable device for lively nights out. Still in Africa, China-funded Mombasa-Nairobi Standard Gauge Railway, otherwise known as SGR, recently launched a joint speed test in which the train departed from Kenya's Nairobi South to Emali Station, covering around 200 kilometers. Local officials said the SGR would be a combination of improved technology and customer services in Kenya's railway system.
It was amazing to see the train coming at a very high speed. The highest was at 120 kilometers per hour. Compared to the normal train that I see, it moves slower than the one I've captured today.
Through the full cooperation and intense preparation from both China and Kenya, the Nairobi South Station is about to welcome its first batch of passengers. Now heading over to China. The country's National Banking Card Association, China Union Pay, together with over 40 commercial banks in the country, launched its QR code payment service Saturday in Beijing to share in the booming market. According to Union Pay's payment standards, users' transaction information will be encrypted to safeguard payment safety.
The user's bank account information will not be left in the application on users' mobile phones. So even if the information was attacked, it can be copied for reuse and the user's accounts are protected.
China's QR code payment market is dominated by two payment platforms of Alipay and WeChat, owned by China's tech giants Alibaba and Tencent respectively. Nearly 60 other commercial banks in the country are busy doing tests before launching their own services later.
After the break, we chat about JamLab, which aims to give new digital skills to journalists. Stay with us.
A meteorite hit the Earth 2 million years ago, creating an enormous impact of crater, about 10 kilometers in diameter, near Vredefort in the Free State, 100 kilometers southwest of Johannesburg, now known as the Vredefort Dome, a South African World Heritage Site. The meteorite is said to have been larger than Table Mountain and caused a 1,000 megaton blast of energy. The impact would have heated about 70 cubic kilometers of rock and have increased the Earth's oxygen levels to a degree that made the development of multicellular life possible. The world has about 130 crater structures of possible impact origin, The Vredefort Dome is the largest in the world, followed by Sudbury Crater in Canada and the Chicxulub Crater in Mexico.
It is SABC Network that is on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Welcome back. Now, in a bid to get the story out first, journalists have in the past made the mistake of publishing unverified information based on social media posts. This leads to some calling for extra vigilance when journalists are using social media as a source. Doing that would guard against reporting on fake news. Some people also use social media to promote false information, and the consequences of that can be dire. Janya Chauke has this one for us.
Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Sharing with multitudes made easy. Seen by some as an effective tool for social change, for others to spread fabricated stories and fake news.
When you're talking about fake news, what we're really talking about is misinformation, disinformation and propaganda, which has always been there, but I think the problem now with social media in particular is that we have more access to it as individuals, and people peddle in this information all the time. The means of production is cheaper, it's easier, we can share very, very quickly.
Activists are calling for heightened awareness.
If you're reading a story, don't rely on one source. Go to multiple sources, check the URL, check where the information is coming from. So, you know, as the audience, we need to be more conscious of fake news. But then on the media side, media has a responsibility to not educate its audience, but also improve its credibility, improve the trustworthiness of mainstream media with its audiences.
And a warning that fake news could have fatal consequences.
People are using these kinds of tools not just for misinformation, but sometimes for incitement in the wrong ways. And in the KwaMashu incident, it was against foreigners. We saw that shops were being burned eventually as a result of this kind of information spreading on social media. And so I think the police have a problem in that they are unable to contain the spread of that information very, very quickly.
Police say fake news leads to wasteful expenditure. They've issued a stern warning after a false social media posting alleging a minibus taxi linked to the kidnapping of children had been spotted in Soweto. For now, another appeal to check facts and to expose and flag false news on social media platforms.
Now, social media is not the only new tool journalists are using. The Journalism and Media Accelerator is a program that wants to upskill journalists in this new high-tech environment. The 6-month innovation support program is for existing or new South African journalism and media teams. It is run by Wits Journalism and the Joburg Centre for Software Engineering in partnership with Ryerson University in Canada and Journalists for Human Rights. Joining me in studio to talk about this is GemLab Director Indra Delanero. Hello, thank you for being a part of our network, Indra.
Pleasure to be here.
Why did you see the need to introduce this program?
Well, we think there's a lot of exciting journalism and media going on, especially online. Lots of people are trying new things, but innovation's quite hard, especially in the media space. It's very hard to make it pay. It's hard to find the audiences. There's a lot of competition. There's global sources. So this is a program, it's less about training and more about support. How can you take a great idea, or how can you take a venture that's working a little bit and take it to the next level, help them grow by giving them mentoring, coaching, a great space to work in a new innovation space in Braamfontein and Joburg.
And what sort of innovation would you say you've seen, or innovation that you're talking about that journalists can have?
Well, I think I worked on the 1994 elections here. In these studios. Then there was only one television source people could watch the news on, and it was important news. It was SABC. Now there's people launching podcasts, there's people launching new magazines online, all sorts of independent voices, new kinds of people, new languages even. So I think we see a lot of that, and that's really exciting, but a lot of it needs a bit of help to get it to the level where they can survive. Because even big media houses these days struggle with revenues, struggle with adapting to new technologies.
And so would you say that knowing how to tweet, for example, is not the only skill one should have?
No, I think knowing how to tweet now is a minimum skill just to stay in the game, isn't it? And a lot more. But now what we need to see is, I don't know if you've seen an app that we've seen recently on delivering news that looks like WhatsApp, you know, where it's not a website. So we're seeing lots of new ways of telling stories. I think podcasting is a space we're seeing. One of my colleagues just came back from Rwanda, where there was a Burundi community radio station. They were actually passing their audio files on WhatsApp. That's how they were communicating with audiences. And there's lots of opportunity, but you've also got to experiment and find out what really works. Is it reaching an audience? Do they like it? Do they care? Is it serving a need? And that's what we want to help people with.
A lot of people would say then they are using trial and error in their newsrooms, and we've seen citizens, for example, or even people who are untrained journalists succeeding in doing this. So why would they then need support that's being offered at JamLab?
I think there's nothing wrong with trial and error. That's great. I think you have to be quite systematic about it to succeed. And also, we've supported many citizen journalism projects in the past, but we still want to keep to some of the core values of journalism, like you were saying about fake news. We care about verification. We care about not publishing things that are incorrect. We care about not republishing things that are actually 5 years old by accident. So we still need that culture. We still need those values to stay as strong as possible if we're going to keep improving journalism and independent media and so on.
And are you offering this for free?
This time we're offering it completely for free, 6-month place in a great workspace, a lot of support, a course that helps people with their business planning for media, all for free.
You are saying that it is for existing journalists and for new journalists, but how does one know whether they qualify for this?
So they've got to apply online. If they go to, we've got a medium.com publication, we've got a Facebook page, of course, and we've got a Twitter account. So they've got to apply online. We've got a selection process with a senior set of tough judges, and we'll select up to 6 projects for the program.
So they must already have projects in mind. They can't just apply hoping that they will discover what it is that they want to do in the tech innovation space.
No, either you've got to come in with a fantastic idea and good reasons why you think this idea could transform journalism, or you've got to already be doing something and you can show us.
Now, the African continent is broad. Is this open up to everybody? Just made an example with Rwanda just now. Is it everybody who is on the African continent?
Well, we're also a startup. So this year we're saying we want people who are already based in South Africa. They don't have to be South African, but they need to already be based here. In the future, next year and the year after, we hope to grow through networks to build this up as part of an African program.
And now you have different partners that you've, as Viz Journalism, that you've partnered with. What role does each partner play?
So there's this new great centre in Braamfontein called the Chimolahong Digital Innovation Precinct, which has been built by and supported by the university. But it's also got a lot of partners, Microsoft, Telkom, and a whole bunch of partners have come in there, as well as the city and the province. And then JCSE, the Johannesburg School for Software Engineering, Centre for Software Engineering is a partner, and they bring a lot of tech skills. They're based at the university in the computer science department. And then we've got some fantastic international partnerships. Ryerson University is a world leader in creating tech hubs around a university, and they also run a journalism entrepreneurship program. And we're taking some of the ideas from that program into our program.
The start and end of the program?
Starts in July, runs till the end of the year.
All right, sure. Thank you very much for joining us, Indra Delanero.
Thank you.
All right, Indra there is from JamLab, which is that program that wants to upskill journalists. Now, this week, we caught up with Uzalo actress Gugu Gumede. She told us what her favorite piece of technology is.
Thina njengebandla sifuna umholi onesimilo, umholi oqotho, Hey everybody, my name is Gugu Gumeda and I'm an actor on Uzalo on SABC 1. Well, my favorite gadget right now has to be the iPhone 7 Plus because of all its great features, and the phone has been upgraded immensely. The picture quality is to die for.
Well, a very good morning and welcome to AM News live at 10:00 hours across all Central African regions.
A fitting send-off for a revolutionary giant, a life dedicated in service of the people.
The result means that the Swallows are out of the ABC Municipal League and drop to the amateur fourth tier of South African football, the SAB League.
Tune in on AM News every Saturday and Sunday from 10 hours.
It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Chat to us. It seems the Gauteng online schools application process is going well. 11 schools in the province have already reached their maximum capacity for the 2018 admissions. Over 200,000 applications have been processed since May 2.
More than 125,000 online applications were for Grade 1 and over 100,000 for Grade 8. The Department of Education has urged parents in townships to apply for admissions before the 12th of June.
As a department, we just want to urge parents that are still waiting to apply to say the 12th of June midnight cutoff is non-negotiable. Because it will allow us now to start to place learners that have applied. As we've indicated, the schools that are chock-a-block, so we have to migrate learners to areas where the applications are not that much, and this will create problems. So from the 24th of July, we are now starting to place everyone who has applied on time.
Previously, parents have made their applications too late, making it difficult for the department to manage admissions.
This week, our Twitter poll has been asking if you think playing video games helps children learn. The majority of respondents say it depends on the game. That figure is at 46%. In second place, at 29%, are people who say yes. In third place is 25% of respondents who say no. And that's all we have for you. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. newsnetwork@sabc.co.za on email. We leave you with visuals of the China International Fair for Trade in Services. From me and the rest of the network team, have a good one.